avoidance is a very common way to deal with things that you're afraid of. You just don't want to deal with it. And so rather than calling in and find out what you can do, you sort of back off and say, well, maybe I'll be able to afford it next month. And then when I do that, I'll be able to call in and have a much nicer conversation rather than having to say, sorry, I can't make it. Not realizing that there are ways to hold you over until that happens. There are ways to keep it in good standing that whole time so you don't get late fees, you don't hurt your credit. But if you don't know that that's there, if you're just trying to, if you're throwing away the envelope when you get it because you're afraid of what's inside of it, then you don't know that, it's not just about you have to pay this amount. There are ways you can manage it if you can't afford it. There are people who can be 200 days past due, and the reason why they're past due is because they can't afford the payments that the bills that are being sent to them, and they just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to, they are afraid, they know that they can't afford that, and they just don't know what else to do. And then the reason they can't afford the payment is because they're unemployed, which is a very common problem, especially in the past few years. And there's a deferment for that. There's a deferment specifically for if you're unemployed and seeking full-time work, you can postpone your payments. And people just don't know about these options, and they don't know that it's as simple as filling out some paperwork and sending it in. And it not only keeps the loan in good standing, it keeps interest from accruing on some types of loans. And it buys you the time you need to find that employment and then to move forward.